Okay. Here's my intro. Well, hello and welcome to the show. I am happy to be here. I'm Rufus Opus, also known as Joshua Gidbois. Let's see. Today, let's see what's going on. Before I get too far along, I'd like to. What would I like to do? Let me pull up my webpage over here. I'm in the middle of updating my site, so it's not gonna. Of course, it's not gonna look exactly the way I want it to for the presentation, but that's okay. All right, so let me get rid of my toilet paper screen. Ordering toilet paper is always cool. All right, so this is my website. This is behind the scenes of my website. If you go to my website, oops, if I were able to get to my, there we go. Okay, so if you go to my website, this is my homepage. It has a little bit about what I'm up to. I'm updating all this stuff because it's old and out of date, but I will get that updated here shortly, hopefully. Let me see something. Okay, all right. I like to be able to see my face because I don't know. I just make it's easier for me to make sure I'm not. Anyway, so yeah. So this is my homepage. It's all going to be updated. All the stuff up in here is all out of date, but all that stuff needs to be updated. But if you want to participate in some of the stuff that I'm doing, so like the Orphic Orphic Zeus cult thing up here. This is how you get to the Zeus cult. I'm pretty happy with this particular thing. So I'm working on my actual initiation ritual. It's going to be a hypnosis ritual. It's hypnotic ritual. It's trance state stuff. We're going to be going into deep state trance stuff and revealing your connection to everything, and revealing that you are a part of the whole thing and all that stuff. A revelation of your true power, a power hidden from you by dark forces that we can restore to you by letting you in on a secret, right? So, and that hidden power is that you are a manifestation of Zeus, and that we are here to experience and enjoy our lives and learn how to create an enjoyable existence, right? Have fun within this time that we have to experience things. That's basically my opinion on things. But that's what this thing is set to do. But what it does is it provides you a framework of initiation for pursuing the establishment of your life, how you see it, how you see fit, right? So, in occult traditions, we have the idea of the great work, right? The magnum opus that is a person's main thing they want to do with their life, and for me, the great work for me, I thought for a while it was teaching. I really like teaching. Like I it's where I feel most fulfilled and accomplished, when I'm talking to other people and expressing things that are fun for me. But I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the chat log over there. Yeah. So the framework that the initiatory system provides is a way to link your way up through the process of the great work, the same way that Zeus did himself, right? So in our initiatory systems, like in the Masons and in the OTO, in the various initiatory traditions that we have in the European Western traditions of occult mystery stuff, they have these initiations that they do, and they recreate the patterns of life. I'm not sure exactly about the Masonic stuff. I have never been a Mason, but I do know that in the OTO, and this is all published stuff, this isn't a mystery at all, this is not secrets that I'm revealing, but in the OTO it talks about how the man of earth is basically a set of initiations that's open to everybody, and in that there's three phases, birth, life, and death, that you go through, and those three phases are the three initiations: first degree, second, and third. Pretty standard stuff. But what they do is they create a little myth that they take you through this process. You are You're a character in a story, and the initiatory path is basically taking you and putting you into a play. Okay, and in the play, you are the main character, and everybody is dressed up in costumes, and they are putting on a play, and you don't know your lines, but you have lines, but you don't know what they are. You're not told what they are in advance. You're thrust into this scene on a stage, in a temple space, or in a setting of some type. When the OTO first started in California, and they started doing the initiations in real life, because Crowley had only thought about them. But once they started doing the initiations in real life for the OTO, they were doing them on the beach, and they were doing the mass on the beach, and there was like no stuff, right? But the initiations eventually moved into garages and houses and living rooms, and eventually rental spaces, and people who were Masons let their OTO members also use their lodges, and they started to get a little bit better and more quality stuff, and eventually the costumes and the props got better, you know, and that's been my experience, was the OTO. Other mystery traditions do it different ways, I'm sure, but basically, you know, this initiatory process has always been a bunch of people who are your everyday workers that you work with every day, that you've interacted with all your life, and then on the night of the initiation, you see Steve the tailor, or Tom the shoemaker, you know, in these from these older traditions, you know, doing dressed up as these ancient masters and these wise people of the East and the West, and they're wearing all these weird costumes, right? And they're recreating these scenes from the mythic past. But you know who they are. You recognize their voices. You know who's behind the masks. Sometimes their beards poke out from behind the mask during the initiation. That's great. Point being, this process of initiation has always been telling a story that places the candidate in the role of the protagonist, and you take the protagonist through the stages of life in the revealed mysteries of the OTO, for example, or the Masons that it was based on. Your basic process was you the candidate are the main protagonist in the story, and the story is all the troubles and travails that you face as if you were this person, and the mysteries that are revealed to you along the way by these ascended masters. And if you look back at the 19th century and 18th century, Gulliver's Travels, if you look at Voltaire's Candide, there are a lot of stories about basically these intrepid explorers going off into the world and having these experiences, and then coming back with their received wisdom and knowledge. This goes back to the Masons. The Masons were doing the same thing. They were creating this little play wherein the locals could act like they were going overseas and having the mysteries revealed to them. They were Christian Rosencrantz, who was a Knight Templar who was digging in the ruins and finding John's head and Baphomet, and they were revealing all these mystery secrets, right? That's you know, I'm making that up. I don't know if that's the mystery tradition at all, but that's the kind of thing that they were able to do as a Mason. They were able to pretend like they were their heroes that they were reading about in the press of the time. All these white people who went to brown nations and got brown mysteries and brought them back to white countries. You know, you got to relive that as if you were Hiram or Hiram the temple builder who had the secret words, you know, or whatever, you know. It's just a way to tap into the mysteries of what's going on in the world. But the thing is the real wisdom that gets passed on within this play is what matters. Okay, the plays that they pick, the symbolism, in my opinion, a lot of it's hokey. It doesn't matter. It's a hokey ass world we live in. I believe that Zeus is this metaphor of Zeus consuming the Orphic egg and materializing everything is perfect, because everything is sort of as if Zeus put it all together. If you think of Zeus as, like, you know, kind of a frat boy god who is like boisterous during the heroic age, you know, going around, sleeping around, having all these babies and demigods and getting into trouble with his wife and basically just being a rambunctious man with penis control issues. You know, I mean, the universe operates as if it was put together that way. It really does look like it's run by a frat boy with who's trying to figure out what his role is in existence. And a lot of my assumptions about how this mystery unfolds in our lives is based on the idea that Zeus, the demiurge, is trying to figure out what to do with itself for all eternity, right? And trying to figure out how to be a better person, as it were, you know, because it's like what we imagine we're supposed to be doing in our incarnations, right? We're living out Zeus's dreams, his ambitions, his goals in existence are made manifest through all of these material people, including myself and you and everybody else. We're all part of the unfolding of the mystery of Zeus's dreams, right? And what we know about our spiritual path is that we're trying to get better and we're trying to improve and not be douchebags, right? That's a lot of a lot of Christianity is about not being a douchebag, for example. A lot of the other traditions are about controlling your behaviors and social settings so that your time and efforts make the rich people richer. And that's ultimately what every religion is about. It's about making the elites who don't want to work have more resources, while the people who don't have access to the privilege and the power, they have to do all the work and feed the smaller groups. So if it's a priesthood, the priesthood contains the mysteries and they get all the offerings. If it's a king, then the king gets all the offerings. He collects taxes and provides all the warrior benefits. You know, if it's a god king, then the god king is the one who controls the reins and protects the people. But basically, the king is the one who has access to the forces that keep the people fed and safe, right? Anyway, I forget what my point is often when I'm going off on these tangents. I apologize. Yeah. So the Zeus cult is out there. The framework that you get as a candidate is what the mysteries are revealed to you through. So like the story of Hiram, who is protecting the secret words that, you know, nobody even has. they lost their word. That's a big thing about the Masons. But if you're recreating the thing where you have to be Hiram and you're tortured or whatever, and you have to not know the secret, I'm assuming, I don't know what that means, but if in the OTO they have their own thing where you're living out the life of a character. And in the Zeus cult, what I want to do is we're going to live out the life of Zeus from the time he was a baby in the cave to being raised by the Curates who were banging on their shields, the introduction of Metis, the sneaking into the whole Titanic court, you know, worming your way in to get Zeus's dad the potion that makes him throw up his brothers and sisters, sneaking off, fighting the war, the Titanomachy, you know, the 100-year war against the Titans, overthrowing them with the powers of the underworld with the Cyclopes and the 100-handed, the Hecatonchires, throwing all the rocks at him until they finally defeated the Titans, right? And then ruling your kingdom, overcoming all this shit to become a powerful person, and then ruling your kingdom and enjoying it, and then moving on to the next phase, okay? Because in my experience as a magician, which is all this shit is based on, is I didn't know crap. I learned a bunch of stuff. I tried to use it. It turned out to be a lot of hard work. There's a lot of hard work when you defeating the Titans is sort of a great metaphor for what has to happen to you after you get your power as a magician. Okay, so when you're learning how to be a magician, you learn all this stuff about elements and planetary powers and this mythology of creation that lets you create things. And then you start conjuring spirits. You know, I'm going to make my life better. And you do this and you do that and you do the other. And you get all these little things that you think are important. And you and you get those things set in your life. And then you realize all those little things come with a bunch of work. And just because you thought they were important doesn't mean that they have anything to do with your actual great work, you know. And I think part of being a magician is learning that you know, you come into magic trying to get power, to get money in the girl, you know, and then you get money in the girl and you're like, now what, right? It comes with a whole bunch of stuff, you know, that you have to do. You have to keep the money coming in. You have to pay the taxes. You have to do all this stuff about money. If money's going to be your thing, money takes a lot of time and attention out of your life to get a lot of it, you know. And I mean, once you get it going, it kind of feeds itself, but getting it going is a lot of work when you don't got crap to start with, but your invisible friends, you know, they can get you opportunities, but the more you have financially in your bank account, the easier it is to get more money. And that's just how it is. You know, that's just how it is. You can't, it's easier to refine gold after you've refined gold. It's harder to refine gold if you've never refined gold. That's just how it is. You have to get all the equipment, the materials, the stuff and stuff and stuff. Human beings took like 4 billion years or 10 million years to develop the ability to get gold out of rocks, right? And you know, it takes a while. So in a similar way, within our lifetimes, it takes a while to get money, you know, becoming a good partner, to be a good partner to your partner. It takes time, you know, to get the girl, to get the guy, to be the in a relationship that's loving and supportive. You have to be a loving and supportive person. You know, it's like, we all are like, oh, I want my partner to be loving and supportive, but why should someone who's loving and supportive have to put up with your crap while you figure it out? You know? The reason that young people get together and work out their frictions against each other is because they don't know crap. They don't know any better. You know, it's not like one of us is going to be perfect and the other one's going to be bad. And it doesn't matter how old you are, by the way. As I say young people, but I mean people who are new at relationships, people who aren't very good at relationships. You know, they're young. They're young at relationships. You can be 70 years old and be really bad at relationships. And you could have been bad at relationships your whole life. You know, at 70 years old, you're still going to be bad at it if you've never grown and learned how to do it right. You know, but when you get into magic, this stuff cleans itself out, right? So as you start to work on getting a good and caring partner, the spirits are like, absolutely, let's get you that caring partner. And over time, you become a caring and loving partner. And it's because they keep giving you opportunities to learn how to become what draws to you the things that you desire. Right? So as a lodestone draws iron, so also the magician draws their desires. Your true will manifest in your life when you purify yourself and cleanse yourself and identify yourself with the pure source that is trying to manifest through you. When you identify with that and you accept that that's you, that you really are something that's stuck in space for all eternity, trying to make sense of it and have a decent time. When you understand that that's what you're trying to do, against the backlog of nothing to do forever but this. But what you make up for yourself to do forever. That's all there is. Just what you make up. Once you start to figure that out, that your life is a metaphor for a greater existence that is also stuck living with what it's got to create, with what it's got to work with, which is itself, same as us. What we've got to work with is us and the stuff around us. You know, that's what it had to work with too. If you look at the Hesiod, we have chaos. And out of chaos emerged order and gods and one layer after another. And eventually we ended up with Zeus and he consumed the whole thing. And he reabsorbed everything back into himself. And what happened? He re-emerged everything as chaos. And then the other gods formed on his shoulders and the trees and all that stuff, right? The Dervani manuscript is where you go for all this stuff. The Dervani papyrus, it's all in there. Hey, Solar, how's it going? Let's see. Do I think the HGA can cure someone from chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure completely so the person no longer needs to depend on pharmaceutical medications? Type 2 diabetes. Yes, absolutely. Any kind of diabetes that can be controlled with behavioral modification can absolutely be controlled and helped by your holy guardian angel. Your holy guardian angel will help you become the person that doesn't eat shit food and doesn't have to deal with all that crap, that doesn't get distracted from taking your medications on time, that understands that your life is what you have to live, that this body is your body and it's a manifestation of your experiences on this world, and its checks and its balances are there for you to work with, to develop your skills and your abilities to manifest a positive life in spite of the bullshit that we have to deal with. Okay? This is the lesson of our true life. Our true life is we are here to create a world and experience it fully, right? In spite of the bullshit that we have to deal with. In spite of it. We have to transform it into something better. That's what occult powers are about. That's what we learn in this mystery tradition. And what happens as we go through these mysteries and these initiations is it turns into opportunities for us to express these powers that we get in greater ways, more effective ways. I talk about how all this magical stuff that I teach, the empowerments, the initiations, the holy guardian angel, the great work, the transformation, the tapping into the juice that flows through our cells, right? All that stuff. I talk about this because it's incredible what we can do with our lives, right? But it's anyway. I get all frustrated about it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the Holy Guardian Angel can do that. It's about maximizing your potential. It's about making you more powerful to create what you desire and draw to yourself all these things that you want to experience so that you can muddle through and figure out what the hell you want to do with your life, right? And how to do it better and how to have a good time before you die, right? The magic, the occult powers, the Holy Guardian Angels, the 7 planetary spheres, the great work, the method of transforming yourself, all it does is it makes you more powerful and more efficient at doing the things you're doing already. Okay, and if you're dealing with chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure, absolutely the spirit can help you with that. Okay, and it will transform you at a cellular level in a way that is beyond the explanations of science, right? This is something that just happens a lot with a lot of us who are magicians. We just have things just miraculously get better and we write it off like, oh, well, you know, like so many of my magician friends are like, yeah, the spirits helped me with that. It's great. I love it. And then they go on, you know, and it's like, I can't believe Trump did this to me, you know, and it's like, wait a minute. Didn't the spirits just do something incredible for you that was miraculous, like that was amazing, and now you're still freaking out about the president? I freak out about the president all the time. I am not speaking as if I don't. I am a hypocrite. I'm not an ideal person by any means. Just for the record. So I don't want people to look at my timeline and be like, hey, you know, he makes fun of people who freak out about the president. I'm making fun of myself. So, yeah, so the thing is these spirits can do miraculous things. They really can. But it's like the way they do it is through natural means. Okay, and they're the spirits of nature. They're the spirits that make the gold show up in the mountains are the ones that you call on to materialize gold in your life. If you look at the Heptameron, is it Heptameron? Arbitel, where you get the 7 spirits, I can't remember which one is it. Ak, the spirit of the sun, is said to make gold grow in the mountains in either the Arbitel, I think it's the Arbitel, the Arbitel. And Ak makes these things grow in the mountains. And when you conjure Ak, he helps your gold grow in your bank account, right? So, like, you're tapping into his natural powers, but he takes millions of years out in the mountains, and you're asking for it to happen overnight miraculously, right? It's still going to take a while. You're going to have to get the things in place for it to manifest. These things happen through natural means. You know, it's like you do a ritual and maybe you win the lottery. Maybe. Everybody thinks that that's going to happen. I've never seen it happen for anybody that I know. I did meet the guy who was a pagan who did a ritual and then won the lottery in Baltimore. He bought the ADF Grove, the local druids. He bought them their house with his winnings as sort of like a thank you to spirit. And but he ended up frittering it away, I guess. But shit happens. But yeah, he's the only magician I know of who actually won the lottery with his magic, and I don't believe he continued to win the lottery again and again. So it's not like I kind of think that there's reasons to believe that his magic had less to do with it than he liked to pretend, because his magic did not continue to save the rest of his efforts going forward. Yeah, so I don't know anybody who won the lottery using magic recently. I've tried repeatedly. I got like, every time I do it nowadays, I win like $2. I win. Technically, I win $2. And I tried like saying every number right with the Powerball, and it doesn't work. And I said, I got one that was like it was like within 2 numbers of every number. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, like, and they're like, and I asked the spirits about it, and they're like, there's a lot going on, and this is not really our effort. This isn't our forte at this. If you really want help with this, what we're good at is this. And I'm like, okay. And I think it has to do with my chart, honestly. I think it has to do with my natal chart and what I'm good at, and ways that I can manifest money. I think that there are strictures placed by your natal chart, but I don't know if that's true or not. It's just my opinion, so I hesitate to teach that too much, but it seems to be a thing. So yeah, you still have to quit eating buckets of crap. So yeah, like Qigong says, you have to keep you have to quit eating buckets of crap if you want to lose weight. But the spirits help you do that, right? And that's how they help. I needed help getting my business off the ground, and I conjured, this was like in 2012, 2010, something like that. I conjured all these solar spirits to bring me gold so that I could get my new business to take off. And what they ended up doing was they cost me my job. They took away my job, and they made it so that all I had to do was focus on that, on making my business work. And it was trial by fire. They were solar spirits, and they put me into the fire, and they roasted me, and they purified me, and I made enough to get by. Right? It was hard, but I learned in those about 4 weeks, 6 weeks, what I'm capable of under duress, and what I can do to make money happen, as long as I'm willing to do the things I have to do to make things happen. And building frameworks is something I'm really good at, and I can do that and materialize money through it. And it's anyway. Once you get all the money and the stuff, my point originally was that you learn that that's not really what fulfills you as a magician. And you'll hear everybody say that, and they're like, whatever. I needed the money, and I needed the good relationship before I was actually satisfied that, in fact, those things are not. Well, let me rephrase that, because like, making money is a lot of fun for me, and I do find fulfillment in my bank account looking good. I enjoy that. It's like, it's a game, and I get high scores on it, and it makes me feel good. But next to my initials, there's a number. It's just like the video games when I was a kid. But that's fun for me. It's my entertainment. It's not my sustenance. My sustenance comes from food, shelter, clothing, and a loving partner, honestly. And that's the other thing, is a loving partner was really key for me. I'm a Taurus. It's very important to me to have that. And the happiness that I get out of my relationship is very, very great. It's wonderful, and it's not something I could consider myself a successful magician without. So when I say things like, once you get good at the magic, you realize that the money isn't important, or getting the girl isn't important. It's not that. It's just you learn to appreciate it differently. You understand its place in your life. You're not desperate for it, and that's what I think is changing about it. What magic does is it removes your desperation for the things that are so important to you in the moment, and it does. It seems like it takes time, but you get there, But it makes you more powerful and more efficient at creating things, and that's where the pleasure comes from. That's where the contentment comes from. All these other things are added unto you, right? There's this Bible verse that stuck with me because my parents made me memorize most of the freaking Bible, it feels like, sometimes. And I'm not bitter. I'm bitter. I'm really bitter. I didn't want to memorize the Bible, but I did. And now I got Bible in my brain, and it's great. Let me tell you, I can quote that. I can't remember where I put my tools that I was just using in the garage, but I can remember Bible verses. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. No, I don't. I don't appreciate that. Um, anyway, the Bible verse is, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you, right? And that's the bottom line truth of the Divine Pymander's text in the Corpus Hermeticum. It's that when you seek God, you get power, you get efficiency, you get proficiency, you get whatever. And the thing about the Corpus Hermeticum is the Pymander's talking about the nous mind, you know, the Neoplatonic nous, the noetic mind, the mind of God, nous, however you want to say it. I talk about Zeus. The Dervani Papyrus talks about Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all. Same idea, same concept, different, separated by a couple hundred years, maybe, probably about 30 or 40 miles in Greece. It wasn't that separate, okay? The Holy Trinity of Christianity and Christian mysticism, when you get down to the idea that God is one in three persons and all that stuff, when you pursue this source, right, no matter what source you have, okay, in Hinduism, there's the Brahman, right? In, oh my God, in Lovecraft, there's Azathoth. Okay, there's a source in all of these different cosmologies that when you turn your inner eye to see the path that leads to the light that your light comes from. All right, when you say I am but an I, right? And what I none knoweth, right? When you say I'm an I, and I'm looking out through my body, through this little hole in my heart that goes also through my eyeballs and my brain, right? When I'm looking out through it, I am but an I. When you accept that, right, and you start looking inside and follow that light, that where that light goes, right? What is that eyeball connected to? Where does it go? When you pursue that source of that eyeball, that source of you that's looking out, right? We're like a what do you call it? We're like a hole, right? And through that hole, everything's going, right? And we're absorbing it. We're mouths eating, we're eyes looking, we're ears hearing. It's all coming in. But when you turn your inner eye inward and follow it back to where it comes from, you find you find everything else is added unto you, right? So everything out there that you think you're trying to get. So, and we're talking about money, the stuff of the world, a good president, you know, a decent weekend, a job that makes you happy. You know, when you're talking about all these things and you're looking for those things, right? You're looking outside of yourself to find something that would make you happy. Those are the things that you don't find outside. Those things outside will never make you happy. And every time you're frustrated, angry, upset, or whatever, it's because, at least for me anyway, I believe, it's because you get out of touch with the things you're trying to bring into being. And instead, you're stuck trying to figure out what other people are trying to bring into being. And it's frustrating. It's confusing. And it doesn't make any sense a lot of the times. But a lot of the times when you're angry, it's because you're not paying attention to where you're coming from. You're paying attention to where other people are coming from and what's going on around you, or you're looking to something outside of yourself to make you happy. And that doesn't work. And that's why you're angry, is because you're not happy. And really, you're not even mad. This is all kind of advanced stuff. But you're not even mad at who you're mad at or what you're mad at. You're mad at yourself for forgetting. And you find all this out when you start turning that inner eye inwards and you start dealing with where your frustrations come from and where your anxiety comes from. And why do you feel like you're going to get in trouble if you don't get done with what you're working on? Where does that come from? You know, once you start unpacking all that stuff and releasing it and unpacking it and releasing it, what you come down to is this understanding that you are an I, and you are looking at things and you're trying to absorb things and you're trying to work on a certain set of things that you're working on. Anyway, I started all this conversation because I wanted to talk about the Zeus cult. So the Zeus cult is available. If you go to my website, it's rufusopus.com. The Zeus cult is up here in the corner. The Orphic Zeus cult is the link. If you send the request, you're going to be added to a list, and you'll get a link to my daily mantra. You can be a part of the mantra. Every day I say Zeus ho Kefale, Zeus ho Meso, Zeus ho Pantokrator 108 times using a mala, and focus on being part of this all thing. This is what I do to pursue the source. So every morning for about 10 or 15 minutes, I am focused on Zeus, or whatever you want to call it. I'm using the mantra to focus on my inner eye and where I'm coming from. And the things that come out of it are incredible. And if you start doing this mantra with me, please do it all the way through if you can. Try, and write down what you thought about afterwards, and then go about your day. Just take a little bit of time to write down a couple of the ideas that occurred to you. Not all of them. You'll probably have about 20 or 30 things come to you throughout the duration if you're anything like me. But try to write down one or two things, because you're going to start to see a pattern emerge in your thoughts during this contemplation of your source. All right. And what happens is you start to understand what motivates you, and you start to understand what it is that this thing inside of you that's trying, that you have adopted yourself to be yourself, what it's trying to get out of its experience on earth, right? You get a better sense of that when you do this silly little mantra, this I am part of everything that's going on, and I am in it, and I'm here for something. You start to get a sense of where it is that you fit into everything. It's all mystical. It's all hard to explain, but that's a good place to start. The rest of the initiations, we're going to have one for the kickoff of your start. We're going to have one at some point of trying to fight off the titanic forces of reality, all that stuff. It's sort of all sketched out, but do expect the initiation to come soon. But in the meantime, you can start with the mantra. I've got not a lot of people have signed up yet. I was kind of surprised. I thought there'd be like 1 million people overnight, because this is the coolest thing ever. But apparently not. So whatever. But anyway, to those who have started, I'm very grateful that you're here so far, and I think that we're going to actually go somewhere with this. But in the meantime, sign up, you guys. It's fun. All right. It's okay. Diana, thank you. I appreciate the biblical torture. I also, I think you've gone through it too, if I remember right. I don't remember if you've shared that with me or not, but yeah. Oh my God, you guys. I'm not really doing very good at sticking to my topic today, but I don't really care. I'll get to the Holy Guardian Angel in a minute, but going back to the Zeus mantra thing. All right. So when you start unpeeling things a little bit, the whole vibe of everything sort of changes, and you start to see that everything's operating on a lot of different levels all at the same time. And as you get used to the fact that you have a body and a mind and a heart, and those things all come together as a self, and that self is a representation of an I, and what I none knoweth, and it's operating across all these invisible spectrums. And the more you work with like the spirits of Venus and Aries and Mars and Jupiter and Taurus and Venus, and you when you start mingling all these different flavors of how the all thing energizes existence, how it powers existence to be on this invisible realm, it's not this, but it's almost as if there were a spongy million-layered multiverse of stuff going on all around us all the time, and your consciousness slips in and out of that more and more the more you do this kind of mantra. And it honestly, it doesn't have to be this mantra. People who do the Eo Heka Eo Ho mantra from Jason Miller's thing, that mantra, it's not traditional. He doesn't pretend like it's traditional, but I know a couple people who've had an experience of Hecate as the world soul, at the all in all, that I have through the Zeus chant. And Saint Teresa, right? she had orgasms with Jesus, right? She's sitting there having orgasms with her mystical visions. I don't have orgasms with my mystical visions, which is probably safer because that would be kind of messy and difficult to explain. But yeah, so these mystical experiences, if you picture yourself married to Jesus, you have these amazing experiences. If you picture yourself being an eyeball floating in space throughout all space and time and going through the corpus hermeticum as a way to manifest, just as Diana Fraser or Qigong Tea Time, right? Or CV12, or I'm sorry, Solara, right? All of these people, right? Anyway, I lost it. I lost that thought again. Anyway, I hate that. I hate that. Point was is forget it. I'm gonna go back. All right. So getting back to the whole multi-layered multiverse universe, right? Once you start to experience it on multiple levels, there's a lot of overlap. Synchronicities are like one part of it, but people get too focused on that, in my opinion. The chaos magician theory of serendipity, where everything just goes your way all the time, it's not like that, but it is like these psychic parrots who start. I was watching a video of this scientist who taught their parrot how to speak all these different languages, and they'd been training it for years so that they could mimic human communications, and they realized after a while that these highly trained parrots would talk about things that they were just thinking about without, and they were like, oh, it's a coincidence, I can't believe it. So then they started doing experiments, and they recorded a parrot in a cage that had worked with this lady for years. They put the lady in another room, didn't tell the parrot what was going on at all, she fed the bird and left. Was in the other room. She starts opening these envelopes, and the parrot starts talking about envelopes. And she's looking at the pictures, and the parrot's describing what's in these envelopes like it's remote viewing. And they weren't even asking the bird to do it. The bird was just randomly saying what the girl was seeing because they were connected, because they'd worked together. They'd established a rapport. They were resonating. They were vibrating, and the bird communicated what the person was thinking. My dog, Ellie, is the best dog in the world. And when I got her, I sensed something in her eyes when I saw her picture on the web, as if I had known her for a while. And when we met and we started interacting, and I've gotten to know her and vibrated with her a little bit more, we've gotten the resonance built up and our relationship has grown. I have come to understand her in a different way. And when we're out walking in nature and she's out sniffing around with all of her dog senses, I can be aware of what she's experiencing if I pay attention. And likewise, I don't have to call her to get her to come. And you can tell me there's all these psychic things or chemical things. So there's chemicals that are exchanged that dogs can smell and that we can smell, pheromones and all this stuff. There's a rich world of communication with every other thing and every other entity that we are connected with that we are not consciously aware of. And whether it's chemical or vibrational or what, I don't know. But this meditation, this practice puts you back in touch with it, right? It puts you back in touch with a resonant existence. It doesn't make your problems go away. It does, and we'll talk about that with the Holy Guardian Angel stuff. All right, you know what? Alexander, hey, it's good to see you. Yeah, that bird shit is crazy. I just saw it on one of the reels, right? I get sucked into the reel hole. I don't know if everybody else does, but oh my god, I love it. My algorithm is great lately. I get to see all these really cool things like this. So, I don't know what happened, but like a week ago, the algorithm got really good for me. I don't know what shifted, but it's almost as if I got back into. I think it's because I'm talking crap about the government. Because a lot of when I used to talk crap about the government, I haven't talked crap about the government since I quit drinking. And now I'm talking crap about the government. I'm seeing all my old friends again. Maybe it's a coincidence. Anyway, yeah, my algorithm has been improved lately. Maybe it's the magic I'm doing. Maybe the Zeus cult will make your algorithm. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing can really help the algorithm. It's garbage. So anyway, the Zeus cult, eventually we're going to work the magician through every phase of Zeus's life until we consume that creative thing. Because for me, what really has done it for me is understanding that we're here to create. We're here to create. And just like Zeus absorbed the Orphic egg that gave him the ability to manifest and generate existence, the generative force of creation, once you absorb these powers of the seven spheres and the four elemental kingdoms, or whatever framework we end up adopting to give us these powers, once you integrate those into your sphere and you start doing this stuff, it's not like you're a god king on the earth and everything will obey you and you'll never have problems again. It's just that everything that comes into your life is you recognize what it represents, why you've drawn it to yourself, what you're going to have to do to fix it, whether or not you're still interested. Because here's the thing, we can change our minds. We don't have to have the fates that we have, and there's things we can't change. Like I've been trying to change our government for about 20 years now. It hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked. I believe that there is a Saturn framework against which we have to operate. I like to tell myself that. Either that, or there's some stubborn part of myself that thinks that all of this is somehow useful, and I hate that. I can't stand that. But if that's what it is, I apologize. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's not a bad thing about thinking that you're the all thing. You get super narcissistic in no time, and that's not how it works. Just so you know, Joshua is not the all thing. Joshua is not. No. Yeah, you gotta separate that, because it does get kind of heady. But you can't let it go to your head, because you are still an ignorant extension. You're still the person that can't find your keys in the garage because you just had them in your hand, and then you made the mistake of setting them down and walking away, right? It's not like everything gets better, or everything is better. Everything gets more fun. Everything gets more meaningful. But I don't know. It doesn't stop being challenging. I think the challenges I face today are a lot more interesting to me because I know I'm not going to fail. Nothing is that hard, and I've succeeded over and over again with the things that I'm dealing with today. So at this point, being old has its privileges. I'm over 50 now, coming up on 52, I think. No, 51. I'm only turning 51 this year. Okay, so anyway, I know I can overcome a lot of the challenges I face. I've done it several times in my life. This stuff that's going on, I'm very angry about the government because it's in ways that the government hasn't challenged my safety in since like the 90s. I'm being challenged, right? And I don't appreciate it, because I thought I was safe to come out about some stuff. I was supposed to be safe now. I was supposed to not have to go back in the closet about some aspects of my life. So I'm angry about that. I'm angry about the inconvenience that this rightward swing is having on my life. For me, it's an inconvenience. It's not costing me my life and my freedom. It's costing me some freedoms, but not the level that it's costing other people. I can't lose sight of that fact, because it's really easy to get super selfish and absorbed. And, I was talking about the all thing. And for years, I've wanted to open up a secret narcissist support group because I know I'm a narcissist. Like in real life, if you talk to my exes before I went through a lot of the spiritual transformations I've been through, their lives were hell. Okay, my kids saw me at the worst of my undiagnosed behavior, drinking and sober. I was terrible in all the ways at the time, and they're dealing with the trauma of living with someone like me. Okay, and they love me. I love them. We talk regularly. I try to support them in healing some of the things that happened as a result of my bad behavior, right? And I have to own that. And it wasn't all my fault. And of course, nothing happened in a vacuum. And hopefully everybody is in therapy about all the problems that we've caused. Right? Oh God, I don't even remember why I brought that stuff up. But I don't know. Life is hard, right? And it's always been hard. the struggles that we face are different, right? And you have different abilities to deal with stuff for sure. But it doesn't. You get better at it, but it doesn't really change. Okay, and the things that we're dealing with right now with the government are very frightening, and very dangerous for a lot of people across the spectrum of income and society in general, right? No matter where you're at, you're getting hurt. Women are scared. People of color are scared. Occultists are scared, right? People of whatever. Everybody has a reason to be afraid right now. They're all valid. They're all temporary, and we're all going to die anyway. Okay, we're all going to die anyway. Everybody dies in the end. Everybody's scared because we're going to die. we're all going to die. Yeah, well, the thing is we're all going to die anyway. Our lives are temporary, and we have times to be terrible and times to be good, right? But it's temporary, and you go through bad times, and you deal with the consequences. And these are bad times for a lot of people, and we'll deal with the consequences. And I'm not trying to belittle it, but being afraid doesn't make it easier, doesn't make your day better. Being afraid is smart. It's intelligent. It's a natural biological result of the threats that you're facing to your existence. Acting scared, though, acting out of fear doesn't get you to the safety, shelter, and food that you need to be able to pursue your spiritual existence that will bring you the fulfillment that we're looking for in life. Getting lost in the sauce of the anxiety, reading the headlines. It's good to be aware of all the different bad things that could be coming towards you. But at the same time, these newspapers make money by making you scared. That's what they're doing. They're making Elon Musk richer. All of these things, every time we click on anything, we're making Elon Musk richer. If you really want to stick it to the government, go outside and have fun without spending money on anything. Enjoy your planet that you were born on in your body without playing their games. Find some green grass, touch it. Look at the sky. It's pretty right now. I hope yours is pretty too. You know, but fuck them. Right? Yeah. Anyway, the wisdom to use it effectively. So yeah, the point of the cult, the point of magic in general, in my opinion, is to make sense of everything, right? And sort of find your place in it and resonate with your purpose in a way that is meaningful and gets you through it, you know, because it's bad out there. It's terrible. It's really bad for a lot of specific people, but it doesn't have to be all we think about, right? It doesn't have to be give yourself a break. That's all I can say. It helps me a lot. I talked to my friends about bingo. We play. There's no literal bingo. I don't make a bingo card or whatever. But when Trump does a certain number of things that make my little brain pop, and my therapist and I were talking about it too. What she does is she's got a green, yellow, red warning system for her partner that when her anxiety is at yellow, she can still talk about the stuff, but when it's at red, she has to stop because the little chipmunk is spinning off the wheel. I don't know if you're mentally ill like I am, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's where your emotions start spilling out and your words don't make sense anymore, right? And that's the red phase, and you know when you're about to hit it, and especially if you've hit it a few times, you get to the yellow phase and you're like, oh, okay. My what's that thing, the third eye organ? Anyone? Anyway, when you start to feel it spin out, you gotta like give the warnings. You know, you gotta give them the timeout. You know, it's because it's like in your day, when your bingo card is full, when you've hit that moment where you've seen enough of the crap, stop. Walk away from it, because it's going to be there tomorrow. It's bad. You already know it's bad, but you're going to be scared if you're not doing something to fix it. And if the scaredness is cortisol, it's eating your organs, it's eating your brain, it's destroying your relationships with your partners, it's making your day sad. It makes your day sad, and it's ruining your life on Earth. And it's just what cortisol does, because cortisol is there to help you fight problems, right? It's to help you deal with problems. It destroys your body to save your life. That's what the cortisol is there for. Now, the cortisol, right? You use it in the moment to solve your problems, right? When you're having an anxiety attack, you get your papers in order. You know, you make sure your bag is packed. You make sure that that you have everything you need for 3 days on the road, if you had to spend 3 days on the road traveling at night, because you're worried that that's the worst case scenario. You prepare for that shit. You have a bag by the door, maybe in the closet by the door, you know, and it's got a machete and whatever. You've got it set up somewhere so that you're safe. You've got your birth certificate and your social security card and your ID with your name on it, because you know that the SAFE Act is coming, right? Your ducks are in a row. If you're worried about your married name keeping you from being able to vote, you've already started the process of getting your passport in order. You're not sitting there freaking out, right? You're doing the things so that when the anxiety comes, you point to the things you've done, and the cortisol, your body, your brain that's there trying to keep you alive says, good job, right? And you're able to get back to enjoying your life. And it's that easy. It's just like when you're hungry and you eat some food. You calm down and you're nice again. It's that simple. It's CBT, coping behavior. It's cognitive behavioral therapy. You take care of yourself. All right. The 90s, we spent the 90s writing all those stupid psychology magazine crap articles, and they used to just tell you what worked. You know, now they figured out they have to keep selling drugs and advertising, so they sell you all this watered down crap. But back in the day, we had like real drugs. Anyway, point being, yeah, I don't remember what the point was. I do not remember the point at all, but that's fine. I should check the notes. Eyeball floating in space, viewing the corpus from outcome experiencing. Oh, right. You know, thank you, Qui-Gon. I appreciate you as always. You are always good. Let's see. Pineal. Yes, pineal. That's right. Pineal gland. And the amygdala. Haha. All right. Okay. Sorry for getting all off track, you guys. I really wanted to talk about the Zeus cult, and I get really excited about that. But the Zeus cult is there to be a framework for magicians to keep us aware of the fact that we're here to be powerful creators and experiencers of life, and not scared reactors to everything, right? It's better to use our power to create a better world for ourselves than it is to not. You know, and a lot of my friends here know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I've got these everything talismans. These things are great. These will help you create every aspect of your life, right? I'm not trying to sell them right now. I think I have like 2 or 3 of them in stock, but I mean, you can make them out of paper, right? I think I've got all the graphics out on the web. I'm not trying to make sales here. Point is create magic, and you'll find that the whole life is so much easier and better, for sure. All right, I'm gonna get back to the actual thing here. I wanted to wrap up what we were talking about last week. And talk about the Holy Guardian Angel. Part of my ADHD stuff is you know, I get high and I go off on these tangents. It's fine, but I feel better when I actually follow my bulleted list of items. That's my go bag by the door. So if I follow my bulleted list, I can wrap up the show and get back to we're going to the beach before the sun sets, because it's beautiful out there. Hopefully. Actually, we probably won't. Probably go to a different beach. Yeah. What was I gonna? Right. History of the HGA. Okay, so back to courses. the Conjuration class. I wanted to wrap that up from last week. Just want to make sure that I've covered all of the main points of that. The last 2 weeks I talked about the Conjuration class. Do go back and check the videos from the last 2 weeks. There's a lot more actual useful information in it. We talked about the technology of magic. We talked about the altar as a manifestation engine. We talked about... So I wanted to talk about oratory as conjure. One of the things, like today I was talking about how we vibe things into coming our way. Oratory is very much how we speak things into being. And in magic and ritual, in the Hermetic methods, we do a lot of talking to the spirits and telling them what we want to have happen. It's a very much a narrative process. We are the writers and authors of our experiences as magicians. We call upon the forces that represent the desires that we want. We tell them to weave their forces together the way that we explain in our verbalizations, and we are vibrating across our vocal cords the invisible forces of air to create forms that represent symbolically the words that represent our desired outcomes, right? So that's what magicians are all about in this Hermetic path. It's very important to remember that oratory is conjure. Affirmations work because you speak things into being. They don't work instead of doing the things to be the things. They work to create the mindset to pursue the things. All right, so a lot of the way that the words work is to prepare the mind to look for things. When we're telling the invisible spirits what to do, who else is listening is our prefrontal cortex that immediately processes the eyeball stuff and a lot of the sensory stuff. The prefrontal cortex is also the part that processes the words that the language is coming from. AI is a great model of the prefrontal cortex. It provides language in the same way that our brain does. It predicts what the right words are that sound right next. I made a joke today about how Trump makes you put for subtitles for Trump, you just put makes racist and bad economic noises. That's all he does. All of his noises are just like something about dark people, immigrants, economy, make America great. It's bullshit. It's just noise. And onto the noise, all these racists and selfish assholes, for the most part, are projecting their resentment mostly about not being able to fish where they want to. It turns out it's just rednecks want to fish. And they're mad because the world is dying, and the liberals are telling them, you can't fish there because you're killing all the fish. We're not going to have any more fish. So just lay off the fish for like 40 years, and then your kids can fish. They'll be able to fish, but you can't because, you know, there's a GE plant that screwed up the waters, but you'll be able to fish again later. They're like, liberals taking away our land. No. Anyway, selfish people project onto these racist noises all the crap that they want to see there, and then they wonder why their Medicare benefits got cut. Oh my God, I was trying to talk to my mom yesterday, and she brought up politics. She called me before my meds had kicked in, and poor thing. I was so worried I gave her a heart attack because I was telling her how evil this stuff was. Oh, it's just awful to my own mother yesterday. It was terrible. I'm a terrible person, and I feel bad about it. But I mean, honestly, we make our choices, and we deal with the results, you know. And I love my mother. I love the part of my mother that is an aspect of Zeus. But my dad died, and when he died, like I experienced my father in a different way now because of my magic. Honestly, I have an ancestral connection to my father, and I experience him as he is now within the all thing. He's contained a cohesive remnant of himself that I get to commune with. that is continuing to exist in a daily basis in the same way as the rest of us do, just without a body. And he's just like the spirits that we work with. And he's just like, he's one of the spirits we work with. Anyway, we're the spirits we work with too. We just happen to still have bodies. But anyway, I see my friends, all y'all who have like parents who are dying. I feel so bad for you. But at the same time, I hope that you get to, I really hope that you get to experience their still being present the way I do, because it changes everything. It changes everything about how you see everything, and it's not like they're always with you. And it's like, I still miss my dad all the time. I miss who he used to be, but I love who he is now, and who he is now is beautiful and is awesome. And I love him very much. And my mother, God bless her heart, when she goes, is going to be just like that. She's going to see things in a different way. And I already experienced her from a different place. Anyway, there's a whole world of understanding our lives and the lives of others that puts them into perspective, for sure. But in the meantime, within my life, from breath to breath, I have to deal with my mother, who supports Donald Trump, as a person who contributes to the suffering of my children. My mother hurts my kids, right? A lot of us know what that's like, intentionally or not, and completely disconnected from their participation in the process. Like, that's something that I have to live with. And I can be as enlightened about it as I want, Doesn't help. Doesn't help dealing with my Josh and mom issues. It does. It puts it in perspective. It does help a lot, actually. I shouldn't say that, because it does help me keep things in perspective. But I feel feelings. I don't stop feeling feelings. And that's the thing. A lot of this idea of enlightenment is that we don't feel feelings anymore. And you never stop feeling your feelings as a human being. And God help us if we ever did, right? I was reading about how we have memory cells on our heart. Our heart has everything it takes to maintain consciousness. It has the same cells in it that the brain does. What we know about consciousness in the brain, there's these little memrites or some weird cell that line our heart. So when you think with your heart, you're literally thinking with your heart. It has memory. There's like memory cells. The same cells that store memory are in our hearts. So anyway, interesting, fascinating stuff. It's funny, like, science is always like giving an explanation for some ancient mystery tradition's secret, like intent. If you read about intent in 16th century manuscripts, what they believed intent was as a magician, when Agrippa talks about the intent of the magician determines the spirit that he receives, the intent that they're talking about is a different kind of intent than the intent that we think of today. And I went down a bunch of rabbit trails around that idea. But it's thinking with the heart. It's thinking with the heart is what they're talking about, is intentionally activating your heart chakra, the memory cells, right? What's his name's, was it Tycho Brahe who had the mansions of memory, right? He had this whole thing about the mansions of memory. He's talking about getting back into your heart memory muscle, your heart muscle memories. Anyway, this intentional thinking from the heart changes your awareness in ways that change your reality, right? You start drawing things to you, right? Because you're harmonizing your heart with your head. You're not the lightning struck tower anymore, right? You're the lovers. you're the art card. You're temperance, right? You've balanced those things, right? At least that's the goal. But you still got to feel the feelings, right? So point is everything is a little better, but at the same time, it's difficult. It can be very difficult. But these lessons that I put together, honestly, it's just so that more people can kind of experience life in a more fulfilling, enriching, and effective kind of way. Because if I had known, I don't know if I would have heard me say some of the things that I have to say when I was 20, right? When I was 20, I don't know if I could have heard it. and had any framework to really process it and understand it. But I know when I was 30, I could have. And I wish that I would have heard what I have to say about things then. But if you pursue the seven spheres, if you pursue them as an initiatory path with this Zeus cult thing that I've got these hypnotic things. I'm still charging for those, but you don't even have to use those. You can do your own conjuration of the seven spheres using the information in the classes, and all my classes are free now. So if you go to my this conjuration class website that I've got over there, that's all free now, right? So just take the class, and all the stuff I have to say about all this stuff, it tells you how to conjure these archangels of the planets. There's the Principles of Planetary Magic bundle here. If you go to the bundle, right, you register for the site and you start the course, and you just go to these lessons, right? All the stuff is in here, right? And it's just teaches you all the stuff, all the framework that you need to start using planetary magic, and start purifying your own little lens that reflects that aspect into your life, so that you can start harmonizing with those parts of you that that you need to create these lives that we're here to enjoy, right? Like, you need to have the powers of the seven spheres balanced and harmonious with your natal charts, inclinations. Like, you need to have that stuff to really be good at having a good time. And I don't know, if you enjoy thinking about things and then having those things happen, and if you think that's cool, then these seven spheres provide a path to that type of experience of life. But you learn, you take the seven spheres classes. There's initiatory instructions in each of them. You initiate yourself into it. That starts a process of cleansing your lens, as it were, so that you can project that light more cleanly into the rest of the universe. When you get into redesigning your world around your principles and your desired intents, the things that you want to spend your life on, once you figure out what you want to do when you grow up, all these powers are there to help you manifest those things, right? And they work great. A friend of mine took the Conjuring a Prosperous Life thing, and he was like, I'm going to conjure for this thing that's going to get me the step that I need to get to my next level. And he's like, you know what, I think I'll just go for the end state instead. And he ended up like skipping years of work and ended up getting where his end goal was. I don't want to get into the details of it. It's his life to live. But he ended up at the end goal years ahead of things after doing this ritual for 2 weeks of letting go of the things that stood in his way and of manifesting it. And then one day of doing all 7 conjurations at once. And he had a great experience with it. A few other people have been doing this for a while with me. They're having a good time of it too. Some people are not having the kind of experiences that I wish that they did. And I don't understand exactly why, but we're working on that too. But yeah, this whole process is something that is about having fun, and having a good time with your life. And I enjoy it for sure. So part of that is the Holy Guardian Angel. I do recommend the Conjuration class first, and then the Holy Guardian Angel. The Tutelary Spirits bundle is where all the Holy Guardian Angel stuff is. If you click this Tutelary Spirits standalone, that will take you to all 3 of the lessons. Oh wait, you don't want that. Tutelary Spirits bundle. If you can find the Tutelary Spirits bundle, that's what you want. Standalone, you don't want. What is this? Oh, I know why. Okay. My mom is an amazing person for a communist. Yeah. I really like it when my friends pop up on my list and I know what they're talking about, and I can't. Anyway, it's kind of fun. All right, so the magical assistant or Holy Guardian Angel or supernatural assistant. The Holy Guardian Angel class is also free on my site. This is where you'd go to get that. It's rufusopus.com under courses. Go down to Tutelary Spirits. That's the Holy Guardian Angel bundle. This content is based on the role of the Holy Guardian Angel. And that was what I was going to do today's class on. I should do it next week because I do have a lot to say about that, and I've already said a lot about a bunch of other shit. But the course content is these 3 classes. It's about 5 or 6 hours worth of me talking about the Holy Guardian Angel and what it was throughout history, where the idea came from before. Like it's all, most of us base it on Abramelin of Worms, his book, the Holy Magic of Abramelin the Mage, right? I think that's what it was called. Anyway, Abramelin is where we get most of our information on the Holy Guardian Angel from as modern occultists, thanks to the Golden Dawn. And it's perverted and changed the view of the magical assistant that occultists had going back thousands of years in ways that I think are detrimental to the experience of magic as a magician. So one of the things I like to do with this class is take the student back through time, dissolve the bullshit constraints that have been placed on us by modern society, and return us to a more pliable state of experiencing our magical powers and experiences as magicians from the perspective of a magician from the about 500 BC era through roughly 300 AD, 400 AD. The magicians of the time, probably 600 AD. And the beginning of the 16th century, probably not as much though. But I don't know what was going on in Istanbul. There's probably some shit. Based on the pick of tricks, there was some shit going on in Istanbul. Anyway. We didn't always think of what we think of as the Holy Guardian Angel as the Holy Guardian Angel. And what the Holy Guardian Angel is a mockery, I say, a pestilent mockery of the potential of our divine assistant. The actual supernatural assistant that I prefer is based on the contacting a supernatural assistant text from the Greek magical papyri. If you go to hermetic.com, I think it's hermetic.com. I would go there right now, but I'm afraid that it might have been turned into a porn site, and I don't want to go to a porn site on my show. Anyway, hermetic.com is, I think, where it used to be, and that was crap. I forgot what I was talking about. What did we get on hermetic.com? Let me see. Dang it. Nobody's giving me any hints. All right, fine. I will just... Supernatural Assistant. Right, Conjuring the Supernatural Assistant from Hermetic.com. Do I want to risk it? No, I don't want to risk it. So Hermetic.com, I'm pretty sure is where it was. But there was a copy of the Conjuring a Supernatural Assistant from the Greek magical papyri, and it explains what the supernatural assistant could do. And when I talked to my Holy Guardian Angel about it, I read this description of what the spirit could do roughly not too long after I made contact with my HGA using Liber Somic. But I asked my HGA if that was what it could do, and it was like, oh yeah, that's me. And it's like, actually, yeah, I kind of made sure that you saw that because it was important that we get past that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I worked with my Holy Guardian Angel and quite a bit. And this class is based on my experiences with the Holy Guardian Angel, and it's better than everybody else's in my opinion because it's what I needed. It was what worked for me, and it made everything a lot easier. And I like to project my experiences onto everybody else because it's that narcissistic tendencies that I have. I apologize. If you're like me, I'm sure it will be useful to you and entertaining as well. But the history of the magical assistant is important, I think, for you to actually be able to use it. The thing is so the key part about what the Holy Guardian Angel does that nobody understands, in my opinion, that was not expressed to me based on the Golden Dawn derived teachings that I learned about the Holy Guardian Angel. It was never explained to me that it functioned to provide the offerings on the astral or spiritual realms that the gods exist on. It brings the offerings to them on their level that are appropriate to their vibration, for them to be appeased, quote unquote, and receive the powers of the offering so that you can ask for their boons. Whose boons? Your boons? My boons. Yes. You can ask for your boons from the gods based on the offerings you bring, and who knows what the gods are in the mood for today. It could be anything. Bull blood. Virgin. Not a virgin. How could you bring me a virgin? Virgin? I said virgin. You never know with these gods, right? So who knows? Your holy guardian assistant knows, right? Your holy guardian angel knows what the gods want. So the supernatural assistant in the Greek magical papyri, and the reason that they had it was because they weren't allowed to do magic, right? Nobody in Greek in the Egyptian time period, like in the 3rd century AD, the time of the Greek magical papyri, none of these magicians, Simon in the New Testament was one of these Greek magical papyri magicians, right? Jesus was actually probably, if he existed, he would have been one of these Greek magical papyri magicians. Spitting in the ground and rubbing it on people's eyes to make them see again is very much a Greek magical papyri kind of magical bullshit kind of thing to do. Water into wine is one of the Greek magical papyri spells. We know what he was up to if you look at things historically. It's not what they say happened in the Bible. We all know that. But also, it's not like nobody knows. We know what was going on. we have the guy down the street wrote down what was happening. Okay, we have people's journals about what was going on. We know that these Greek magical papyri magicians were doing the crap that Jesus was doing. Okay, he wasn't the Son of God. Stop with that. And chances were he wasn't even real. All right, he probably wasn't real. I like to remind people that Jesus wasn't real because Jesus wasn't real. All right, first of all, his name wasn't Jesus. Guess what it was? It was Joshua. No, it was Yeshua, or Yeshua, right? It doesn't sound anything like Jesus, does it? Right? It doesn't, because it's not. Where does Jesus come from? The name Jesus comes from Zeus. Zeus. Zeus was what they said at the temple of Zeus in Jerusalem, and Caesar made everybody say Zeus. As part of the offerings that the Jews were not participating in and getting all the shit for. It was this offering of incense to Zeus, and they had to say Zeus and wave this incense. And the Christians were getting persecuted for not doing it, right? Zeus became Jesus under Constantine. It wasn't Joshua, this Nazarene, this Yeshua, whatever. It was Zeus, Jesus, and I think that's hilarious. So anyway, enough shitting on Christians. Not that I'm shitting on them. God bless them. So anyway, yeah, the Holy Guardian Angel. In the Greek magical papyri, we learned that what they do is they offered these offerings to all the gods. The Egyptians didn't know what they were supposed to offer. The priesthood got to keep their power because the priests got to collect all the tithes from all the land. All the grain was donated. All the grain that fed out, all the power in Egypt came from the grain, and the grain was kept in the temples for years and years before the pharaohs took it. And to keep the power, the priesthood kept the secrets of how to talk to the gods to themselves. Only the secret priests knew the secret powers and the secret names of God to be able to get the secret favors of the secret names of God, right? So all these secrets were only secretly told to these secret people under secret circumstances. So you don't really know what Hermes wants. You don't know what wood to make his wand out of. You don't know what city Hermes came from. Oh, those are secrets that are only known to the secret priesthood of Hermes. And also, his invisible friends all know, right? Not you, but his invisible friends all know. And amongst those invisible friends is your holy guardian angel, right? And your holy guardian angel knows everything that these fucking priests know with their bullshit. And the secrets to power are revealed to you through this invisible assistant that you get from a solar rite, a solar ritual. Anyway, so the solar ritual results in you getting a spirit, a little god that tells you everything you need to know about just about anything you can ask, that will kill a person just by saying its name, that will bring you gold and silver, that will bring you food to eat, and will introduce you to the gods and make offerings to them on your behalf in the appropriate time so that they are appeased when you conjure them. When you do my conjuration class, you'll find a whole section of the conjuration where I appeal to your holy guardian angel, or mine, or whatever it is, ever present friend and guide, to provide for you the connection to these spirits, because that's what this spirit does. Everybody has a holy guardian angel, according to the holy guardian angel lore. If you look at the myths of the holy guardian angel, everybody can do the conjuring a supernatural assistant ritual, and everybody everybody can do the sacred magic of Abramelin. That's why Lamech was able to receive it, because the true Kabbalah was stored up for your brother, the true recipient of Abraham's blessing. But for you, you can have the sacred magic, the holy guardian angel. Anyway, the holy guardian angel reveals that that even to people who can receive it, who can't receive the Kabbalah, that it was there covering your ass the whole time. It reveals to you on, I think it was the day of revelation or the day after, I can't remember which. There's like 3 days after the revelation that you go through these experiences. But in one of the days, the Spirit reveals to you all the times it saved your life from the time you were born, right? So we aren't stupid. We have a rational mind to analyze our experiences with. We know that this world, if I was born in 1974 and here I am in 2024, this spirit that says it was with me from the time I was born and is showing me all this stuff from my youth, and it shows you all the stuff from your youth where it saved your ass because you were stupid. For me, it was drugs. There were drugs that I didn't take when I was supposed to take them, or I could have ended up taking them. There were people that could have harmed me in Houston that ended up taking a detour and ended up somewhere else. In exchange for that, I ended up losing some financial stuff, but that was fine. It turned out I didn't realize the connection until later. But my holy guardian angel revealed that it had been saving my life. It shared with me that it had been saving my life my entire life. Yeah. So when you understand that this spirit is with you your whole life, there are all these special rituals that are really supposed to be really hard to do that let you connect with your spirit. The Abramelin rite, people have done, Aaron Leach sells a Abramelin course where he takes you through this traditional thing to get contact with your holy guardian angel, and I hope it works great for everybody who takes it. I have heard, and I know of at least one person took the class and didn't receive the experiences that they expected. And took my class instead, and I'm not sure, I don't know if it helped or not, and I don't know how to explain that to people, but I will try. Your experience of the holy guardian angel is going to be based on your interpretation of the lore, your understanding of the lore. And if the spirit is able to show you all the times in the future that it was with you, using your rational mind, you must know that it's with you right now, whether you're aware of it or not. So this rigmarole that you go through to contact the spirit, logically, is not for the spirit. The spirit's already there, talking to you, or would be talking to you. Doesn't do anything different before knowledge and conversation than it did after. It's just that you have knowledge and conversation. What's changed? What changes in that moment? If the spirit was there before and the spirit's there after, what changes in the ritual? It's not the spirit, so it's got to be you. Stands to reason, the ritual is not about the spirit. Something's being transformed in you. And what are you doing? You're praying every day, right? What are you praying? You're meditating on something. You're reviewing something, aren't you? You know, I'm not going to teach that class. But the thing is, right? When you pursue this assistant, it reveals itself to you. And in my ritual, I conjure it. And when you do the conjuration, right, there's a phrase where you say, supernatural assistant, thou ever present friend and guide. That's your holy guardian angel. That's who you're conjuring. Whether you're aware of it or not, it's with you in the room. And the thing that it can do is it can lay straight the way between you and the spheres that you're conjuring and bring to those spirits, those gods, those archangels, those archons, those entities that you have to appease for whatever reason. Or if you study the Dervani manuscript, you're not appeasing anybody. You're bringing into harmony discordant parts of your experience with your desired results. That's all you're doing. And what the spirit of the holy guardian angel does is it brings the offerings that changes the vibration of the spirits that are resulting in discord in your experienced life into harmony with your desired intent in the ideal realm. That's what that holy guardian angel can do. And you're operating as the fulcrum during your conjuration, right? That's what you're speaking into being with your statement of intent. You've conjured the beings, the invisible spirits you can't see that you just talked about. They're there. You're telling them what you want to experience, right? But it's your holy guardian angel that's bringing the spirits, the energetic or vibrational support that they need to change their vibration to bring about the harmonious desired result that you have set up downstairs here below. And a lot of the occult principles that we learn are how to bring those vibes together, how to create the harmonies. Look at that orange candle behind me over there on over my shoulder. Look at that statue of Aphrodite. These are symbols of our material world, of our deities, these forces within our material world. There's Hermes, the orange candle, right? And then there's Aphrodite, the goddess of love. You know, ruler of Taurus, you know, my patron deity, my patroness deity, the goddess who tells me what to do. You know, people say, follow your heart, you know. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I bet. You know, I've got the tree of life that Chuck Vincent drew. Excellent drawing. That's awesome. I'm so honored that he gave me that. That's great. I would show it all day long if I could. But anyway, that inspires me all the time. But it's a symbolic representation of the universe as depicted through the lens of humankind, which is, when you get down to it, the most narcissistic crap that you're ever going to experience. And that's your life. That's your life. You're the most narcissistic person you're ever going to know. Not one person in this world is ever going to feel what you feel, and you know it. You know it. You know. You know. Nobody knows what it's like to be you or me or anybody else. Nobody cares at the end of the day any more than you care about them. You might care about them. I care about a lot of people. It would break my heart, but I'd go on living until I die. And that's the truth for everybody. They'll go on living when you die. It's you and it's you. And then you die, right? On purpose, within a resonant frequency, on purpose. It's not meaningless. There's a value to it, you know, and you can't lose sight of that. It's easy to lose sight of that sometimes. But remember, you're all in this alone. And then we die, right? And that's why what we do is valuable and meaningful, right? We can't lose sight of it. But this invisible spirit, right, in whose presence we're going to eventually transfer ourselves, right, more fully, to resonate this vibration from above down here below. This spirit, this energetic spirit, this holy guardian angel, we call upon it in our conjuration to bridge that gap and bring those discordant energies into harmonic vibration. But anyway, that's what this content is designed to do. I try to talk about the history of it to kind of reprogram people a little bit, to shake up the bull crap that you get from the Golden Dawn bullshit. Those English people are terrible at magic. I'll say it again. The English people are terrible at magic. All right, there are exceptions to the rule. Kath Thompson, I will name her. is a great magician, one of the greatest magicians that we live with today. She has figured out and understood things about life that you, oh my God, she's amazing. If you get to see her in action, like she understands things. She sees things and she knows things, and she's just really cool to hang out with. She's got a good vibe, good heart, and she happens to be English, right? A lot of the rest of them can go pound sand. I mean, most of the crap that comes out of England, you have to sift a lot out of it. The best part for me that comes out of English magic is often the fact that it's in a language that I already know. I don't have to translate it, and it makes it a lot easier. But that's like most of its value. The principles that it explains, I think it explains poorly. It presents things in a mechanistic way that aren't accurate. If you've read Jake Stratton Kent's monologues on the spirits, his monograph of the spirits depicts a personal relationship with these entities that you're not going to find in anything by Peter Carroll. You're not going to find it. I don't know about Phil Hine. I haven't read Phil Hine lately, but I don't remember it's touching me the way other stuff did. I'm pretty sure he's English. Oh my God, I can't even remember if he's... I'm pretty sure he's English. Holy shit, I might be thinking poorly of him and not even know if he's English or not. But I would probably think... I mean, not that I think poorly of him, but I mean, I don't... He didn't strike me with the kind... I think, actually, I have a lot of respect for him. I think Oven Ready Chaos was a thing that shaped my whole life. I cannot talk badly about him. He didn't change my life in a way that inspired me to greatness. It was more like he pointed out things that I hadn't thought about before in ways that were interesting, but not really creative, I guess, in the way that like Robert Anton Wilson did, or I don't know. The great greats to me are the great greats, and then there's the people who are almost as great. And I don't even aspire to be that great, to be honest. I don't put myself in that company. But whatever. What was I talking about anyway? Holy Guardian Angel. I get off on tangents. I sure do. All right. So I talk about the history of it to reprogram things. I was talking bad about the English. I'll get back to that, I'm sure. I haven't said anything about Scarlet Imprint yet, have I? I want to, though. Oh, I want to. I won't yet. I won't. But there's oh my God. Honestly, if it weren't for Kath Thompson, I have things I would say. She's like the last shield. She's the last shield standing, the last shield maiden left. That's like protecting the British occult scene from my full disclosure of my opinion about what a corrupt, vile pit of disgusting filth and wasted effort you guys have made out of the grand tradition you inherited from people who were far beyond your frappiest expectations that you bring about in this world. But I won't talk about it in the kind of detail that I think you actually need to face in detail before you die, all of you currently living. I think you all should face that at some point. I'm not going to get into it right now in this conversation, but if it weren't for Jake and if it weren't for Kath, there would be a lot more condemnation that I have to say about those who are currently representing occultism in the UK, as it were. Not all of you. I say that, but I'm only talking about like Peter Gray. I'm talking about Peter Gray, Scarlet Imprint, and Hadean Press. I gotta watch what I say. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, I've got some opinions about. My emotions get the better of me, and I apologize. I shouldn't be like that. But I have opinions. I'll keep them to myself. Oh, I said it. All right. Okay, whatever. The Holy Guardian Angel is something that can help empower your magic and help you pursue greatness in spite of your corrupt tendencies of the flesh and the twisted perversions of your own mind. Anyway, as you can see, I still struggle with my shadow work, but anyway, I'll avoid shit. I say things sometimes and I wish I had. Yeah, I know. Crowley's fiction is pretty good. I've read Simon If, dude. Simon Sniff. So yeah, anyway, God, so many tangents. Holy Guardian Angel, go through the class. The history is important to reprogram yourself. The conjuration techniques, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I prefer these days I prefer the Holy Guardian Angel approach from the Supernatural Assistant and the Greek Magical Papyri. It's super easy. Anybody can do it. And it works. Like I saw a falcon and the falcon dropped something to the ground. It was weird. It was very strange, and it happened again the second time I did it. Like it was a repeatable result kind of thing. And like a hawk landed on the fence and was eating something and dropped a piece of it. And another time a hawk dropped a stone, literally dropped a stone in a railway yard where I was at after I'd done the rite. All right, so I mean, repeatable results, and the Supernatural Assistant has always been with me. And when I do the rites, even after I've had him, it just makes things more vibrant. It makes things more connected, you know. And it's neat to see the bird drop things. I guess. Anyway, take the classes. They're free. It will help you become a better magician. Is it necessary? So the name of the class I wanted to write was, is it a nicety or a necessity? It's not necessary to do magic. I think it makes things ever so much easier. I hope I was persuasive enough during the conversation here that I got to that point. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go back over the comments here. I'm sorry. I was super distracted today. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Let's see. Speedality. Do you think that HA can cure someone from chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure completely, so the person no longer needs to depend on pharmaceutical medications? I hope so. Right. So here's the deal. I think the people that I know who have that disease, who have to deal with it, are they're leading amazing lives, and I don't have anything but respect for them. It's not easy. It's not something that is like I couldn't deal with it. I'm ADHD enough and bipolar enough to where I don't think I could remember to take my medication regularly. I don't think that I would remember I can't eat the things I'm supposed to not eat. I don't think I could do it. I mean, I have a hard enough time controlling my munchies when I get stoned. So when I say things like you have to control your body and all that stuff, the spirits help with that. One of the things I've been doing lately is turning the hypnosis. I took my hypnotic inductions from Hermetic stuff, and I took it with my experience with hypnotic therapy, and I've jettisoned all the hypnotic therapy stuff and turned it into pure guided meditations for the masses that is focused on Hermetic principles and sort of like de-occultifies it in a secret kind of way, like The Secret, but not like The Secret, but different. But I mean, I hope to appeal to the same audience and take the same money, because their money is as good as anybody else's. But also because I think that it's what was missing, and it provides a bridge back to the original occult processes of the great work that we represent, or that I feel like I represent to the world at large. So yeah, I'm doing outreach. Eventually I'm going to hopefully funnel that into the secret mysteries of Zeus as well. So yeah, so the process continues. We're going to infiltrate society and create a whole bunch of illuminated individuals who are out there creating exciting and enjoyable lives. And that's my way of protesting, honestly. That's my way. Like I end up on the darker side of the spectrum of expressing my violent anger and my hopes for retribution and justice, right? Like I get outraged because one of the things about being mentally ill is that I care about things being true. I know how crazy that is, but like I think that things should be true and resonant with harmonically with objective reality. I think I should experience things in the same way you do, and I apply that to my work too. If my magic, anything I'm teaching in my magical class doesn't work for you, tell me, call me out on it. I don't think I'm perfect at this, and by all means, if it's not working for you, let's work on a way to make it work, because I think these principles are sound, and if they don't work for you, then I'm wrong about something, right? And that's important for me to know because I don't want to be wrong. I don't like being wrong. It's like I said, I resonate, I vibrate with a harmony of truth. It makes things better when I see people doing true things, and I feel like truth set me free from false narratives. Basically, if you want to boil it all down to it, as a hermeticist, I believed things that had been said about me and that I had said about myself that were not true. And I took a chance that I could change my mind. I took a chance that I could be happy. I risked enjoying my life once. One time, I let myself do it once. And I realized that if I had done that in the first place, I could have avoided all the crap that I put my kids through that I talked about earlier, all the suffering that I went through at the time, my exes, all that stuff. If I would have expressed my desire for the truth, I would have had a different life. I would have had the life I have now sooner, is what I believe. It all happened at when it happened appropriately. I'm not complaining about anything. I wish I'd known sooner that it's possible to resonate with the truth in a way that is fulfilling and enjoyable without hurting anyone. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of us don't think it's fair to see other people happy. A lot of us don't realize we don't think it's fair to see ourselves happy. Nobody deserves to be happy. What? That's not true. Okay? If giving away these classes helps anybody see that about their reality, that there's no guilt or shame in having a good time. If you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting anybody. My anger at the Republicans and even the Democrats who support this buffoonery of fat-fingered molestation of our liberties and our freedoms, our existences, our lives. Their pudgy little maulings of our joys and our pleasures. The reason it pisses me off so bad is that they just want to take our time from us. They want to take away our breath to breath, our time for themselves, and they can't stand to see us happy. And if these classes teach you how to conjure these invisible forces so that you don't end up in a camp, great. If it helps you end up in a position of power and authority within a crazy world, even better, because then you can protect and shelter and be an umbrella for other people, right? Who don't know how to do this for themselves. Okay, because this world, we're all part of this giant thing that's trying to figure it out. And the way that it figures out how to be good is by us being good. When we do the good things, it passes it on up the food chain. Anyway, that's part of the thing. Is I hope that when other people learn magic, it empowers them to empower other people to not be stupid dupes of a system that is just about making you feel bad for its profit to make Elon Musk some money. Like everything is just to make Elon and Zuckerberg money. More money. I mean, wow. Whatever. I don't have to do that with my life, right? We went to Ruby Beach yesterday. It's beautiful. I wish I could show you the videos. I maybe next time I will do that. But it's great out here in Washington State. It's beautiful. Out in I don't know, when I lived in Minneapolis, there's this lake that we used to go walk around, and it was in the freezing cold. It would freeze over, and we could walk across it. It was beautiful. There were eagles and there were ravens. And when I lived in Florida, uh, there were like rays and the the dolphin, the right. It was it's beautiful, you know. There's something amazing outside that's it's just right out there, right? It's Zeus Ho Ponto Krator, okay, and it's in Chicago, it's in New York, and it's in Seattle, it's all across the Midwest, it's all across the South, you know. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's it's life, right? And it's uh, when you're out in it, you see um, the same thing that you see when you're doing the mantra, right? It's the same it's the same pulsing of the electricity in your own cells, right? It's life, and you commune with that, right? And it's like, oh, you're communing with nature, right? Yeah, yeah, you really are, and you vibrate with it and you resonate with it, and it's just it's very important. It's very important to do that, and um yeah, and if you're into if you want to see the occult side of it, look for the gnomes, look for the fairies, look for the sylphs and the undines, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere, you know. And in the city, they're in the very rocks beneath your feet, waiting to cry out with you against the daily oppressions, if that's what you're into, right? You know, or to continue to support the traffic, right? Anyway, there's all kinds of vibes going on around us that we can harmonize with and uh, separate ourselves from the contributions to Elon Musk's pocket, right? When your life is your own, it doesn't matter who makes money off your time, right? If it's your life and you're making it happen, the way that you make it happen is up to you. And for me, I enjoy doing making apps for people. I sell my fucking time to Microsoft products. It makes uh what's his name? Bill Gates money, right? Or whoever's running it these days. Those are the people making the money off of it, right? I make enough money to pursue my dreams, right? Within the constraints that I face as a 51-year-old white man in America, they are not the same constraints that, you know, black people or other brown people or you know, women and other LGBTQ people face, obviously, right? Obviously, I have it great, but at the same time, so does every other white man my age and younger, right? And within the pool of resources, we have our own fucking white man bullshit to do with white men, okay? And there's a hierarchy, and there's a whole fucking bunch of shit that magic is really good at helping you manipulate in your favor, okay? And it's there, and it's not just for white people. It's not. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not saying that. But the fact is, you know, white people are full of white bullshit. We hear about it all the time from people of color and people who are not white. and who are not men, or who are not white men who have all this privilege and power and authority, right? And in spite of that, I don't seem to have any money in the bank. And I mean, I have a pile of cash right now in savings, you know, but it's a pittance compared to what most people my age have, in my stature, right? It's fine. I'm way ahead of the game compared to where I was a couple of years ago. I'm thrilled with where I'm at, but it's nothing compared to everybody else. But that's not what it's about. You know, this is an investment that I'm holding on to for land that is part of a project. It's just part of a project. It's not mine. It's not what makes me wealthy. You know, it's not being white that makes me wealthy. It's being white that gives me a bunch of white man problems to deal with, white people problems. It's nothing compared to the problems that other people have. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, I still have to go through every day and deal with this shit. You know, and it's bullshit. I get it. I agree, but it's still bullshit that I have to deal with. Doesn't make it not there. It doesn't make it not there just because I agree that it shouldn't be. But it is fucking bullshit. And I see how white men are manipulating you today. Who, if you're not white, I totally hear where you're coming from. I see it, and it's not fair. I agree. You know, but magic can equalize it. You know, we're not all like that. Not all men. Whatever. I mean, I get it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter. But please judge me by my actions. By all means, judge me. I judge other people all the time. But please understand, it's not about that. I am here for Zeus. I align myself with that source, and I know I'm just as bad as everybody else. I'm not. Whatever. Point being, whatever. Enjoy whatever you're doing. You have the power to enjoy your life within the constraints that you have to operate within. Mine are better than I deserve, for sure. I take advantage of that and I enjoy it. I hope I don't hurt other people, but I'm providing for other people, and I believe that when you pursue the truth, and that your relationship with the divine, it definitely ends up to where within the realm of your projects, you're able to accomplish the things that bring you the joy that you're seeking, regardless of what's going on around you, right? And it's okay. It's okay to have fun. Yeah, I've been told that I'm a hedonist and that I'm ignoring the problems of the people that I'm actually solving daily. That I'm actually solving daily. I'm not talking about how other people, I hope, do something about things. All right. I don't talk about what I do. I just do things that fix things that are broken. When I see broken things, I fix them. If I can help someone, I help them. I don't help everybody who asks me for help. Don't ask me for help. Fuck you. Help yourself. Use the free stuff I'm giving you to help yourself. Oh, he's an asshole. Yeah, fine, whatever. You know, I help who I want to. Hopefully you do too. But when you resonate with the truth, you'll find yourself helping people, even people that you wouldn't normally care about. And not all the people necessarily that think that they should. Oh, by the way, I want to complain about something real quick. Don't tell me what to think is important. Everybody who ever says, you know what you should do, I hate you already. I love you. I understand. You want what you think I have. You think I can say something that would make you be able to live whatever fucked up imaginary life you think I would be able to live if I only used your words. I don't know what you want from me, but fucking keep it to yourself. You know, if you think you know what I should say instead, number one, you don't like what I'm saying. Number two, which is a fuck you. Number two, I don't want to hear it. I don't care what you would do if you were me. I've spent a long time trying to figure out what I want to do, and I am me. You should spend more time thinking about what you would do if you were you. If you were you, what would you do? How about that? That's what I had to face when I sobered up. When I quit drinking, I had to deal with, I'm 46, 47? I was 46, I think, 45. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know how old I was. I was 45. 45 and going on 46. Or I just turned 46. No, I think I turned 45. I don't remember. Anyway, one of those, right? Mid 40s, right in the middle. And I had to I had to figure out what I would do with myself, knowing what I knew then. What would I do if I were me? Because all of a sudden I was me, and I had not had to be me in quite a while. I was drunk me for a long time, which was a lot easier because the brain wasn't always thinking. These headphones, where are they? I got these headphones. Probably gonna give these to my kid, but these are noise canceling headphones. I don't know. I accidentally bought these. They are amazing. You're alone in your head when you put them in, and it's like what I imagine when I hear people say that they don't hear voices in their head. That's like what I imagine they hear. It's funny. I can't imagine like for me, I don't hear voices, but I am always talking. Like I hear part of myself always having a commentary on things, and the tone of the voice is basically my mood in the moment. And I know it's me. I don't feel like I'm like hearing voices or whatever. I feel like I'm expressing to myself what my emotional state is, or what my stomach is feeling, or my body is up to. And it's just like I'm monitoring inputs, and in my mind they take the form of voices, not voices, but like if I tune into it, I could hear a flow of information that is symbolically, but it's not silent in my head. You know what I mean? It's not quiet. And to me, I hear a running narrative. It's like there's always a reporter reporting, and I thought everybody had that. And apparently they do not. But that's fine, whatever. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, don't tell people what to do with their lives. It's not, fuck off. Figure out what you want to do with your own life. You're not helping anybody if you tell me what you would do with your life, with my life. Okay, you're just imagining stuff, and stop imagining stuff about your life, right? Don't imagine what you would do. When I quit drinking, I had to face that I had to deal with what I had to deal with, and not what I had imagined I had to deal with. And it turned out that what I had to deal with was I could do whatever I wanted to. And I always could. And I didn't know what to do because I wasn't obliged. I didn't have to stay married because my kids were both in their majority. They were no longer under 18. They were employed. I was not employed. I was free. I had no job holding me down. I was single. Nobody. I was alone, and my kids were trying to figure out their own lives. They were all into themselves at that time. And I was like, oh, I am a detriment to my environment here. I can do whatever I want. I need to figure out what I need. And I needed to get my head together, right? So I vamoosed. I wandered elsewhere, and I built a whole new life. It's been incredible. I've done it all with magic and with therapy, quite a lot of therapy, and with sobriety. California sobriety. As you can see, I get pretty stoned. but I deal honestly with my life, with an approach to things that I've gotten uh, from this magical stuff that I've tried to make available to people. And the reason it's important to me to keep doing this all the time is entirely because if we all start doing this stuff, I really hope, I hope uh, we won't need the rest of them anymore. If you know what I mean. If we create a good enough world, we won't need all that noise in the background to be so loud. They'll be happy. Even the people who aren't magicians. If we create something more entertaining and enjoyable for everyone with what we have to work with, right? Right now, there's a planetary path to resolving every situation that is in any way problematic. If you're having a bad time with things, you have to stop the pain. You have to get to a place of safety. You need to draw healing powers to yourself, and you need to basically cauterize that wound, right? Before you can start to establish relationships outside of yourself with other people, and to start re-intellectualizing your approach to how you manifest and unmanifest parts of your life. Okay, and this is the path of the chain of manifestation. This is Saturn to Mars to Jupiter to the Sun to Venus to Mercury to the Moon as a method of stopping bad situations. And it starts with Saturn, you stop things, and then in Mars you get to a protected, safe place where you can begin to heal. In Jupiter, health and wealth. You know, bringing my health and necessary wealth is how we end the Orphic hymn, because health is of Jupiter. He blesses and he heals. He's the greater benefic. After, when you stop the pain, you get to a safe place. You get the healing of Jupiter, and then you cauterize the pain in the realm of the Sun. You transform that painfulness into something that you can then express back out into the world at large and begin to grow things creatively with your emotional relationships to others in Venus, with your intellectual approach to categorizing your resources and your business and your process and your future prospects going forward in Mercury. So you've got Venus and Mercury as you manifest and unmanifest things through the moon, right? So this is a path of using the chain of manifestation to get yourself out of whatever trouble you're in. These are the kind of tools that I think that this hermetic thing can bring to people who can use them to solve the things that drive me crazy about life. So that's my secret motivation and thing. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for your time. I will talk to you all